Hello guys, I hope you have been well and had a great week. My week was very good. Um Last week we were talking about introduction to change, and you guys were able to give very interesting examples. And we started the first chapter from the required reading, which was linked with the individual change. Those of you who were not here last week, I hope they can check out the recordings and also go through the postings. Like in your course outline, there is the web link for my website. Go there and try to familiarize yourself with the content, the things which are posted there, so that you can develop maybe your own understanding of change and what goes in it. Uh, so introduction to change. Couple of postings are there. I think you might have seen it already, but if you have not seen them yet, please find some time to go through the website. Try to understand how basic concepts are explained using. I've used some clips there, which I think are entertaining. They are not heavy material, but of course it is a lot of things which you might want to go through to develop some holistic understanding of change management, because a lot of things go when we go inside the process of managing change and so on. So there are some postings. Please, in your own time, you are going to go through them and see what is what. For example, this one we went through this last week, learning dip. Always be mindful of that. Although very basic, simple diagram, simple picture, but very important and useful for to understand the dynamics of change management. So this type of theoretical framework helps you to understand that whenever someone is going to go through anything new, they would need some type of time, some amount of time to get a hang of this. Just like anything, when we are learning something new, we need a little bit of time to get a hang of it. And once we and in that time when we are trying to learn that thing, anything can happen. Just like we were looking at a couple of models in our first session. Please consult them and see, try to develop your own understanding. So this type of theoretical framework, like the performance you can see is going down. So in that, if you are trying to manage some type of change, you don't need to get disheartened or give up or anything like that. It is just the nature of new learning that it is going to take some time. That is it. That is what it is saying. Yeah. And then over a period of time, this diagram gives you a very positive note that eventually things will improve and performance will even go higher than it was before. But in the reality of the things, we know that that is not necessary. Some people, when they go down, performance go down, anything can happen. They might lose their heart, not interested, this is not for me, those type of things. You would see that in life also, like, undergraduate people would join one faculty of science and technology, or faculty of medicine or something, would start that. But then after one semester or something like that, they will just give up and they say it's not for me. Maybe it is not for them. I'm not trying to build a case that they should not have left, but the idea is that maybe one semester is very less of a time, especially in the scenario where maybe they were new to university life. Maybe they started doing other things instead of focusing on studies. The point is that how much effort they put into becoming successful in their new faculty, in their new discipline. So if it is the case that they put their 100% and they did what was necessary, they attended all the sessions, they tried to reflect on them in their own time, they got some mentorship, some guidance, all of those things. And if they did everything, and then it does not work out, then you can maybe think that maybe it is not for you. But many times what I'm trying to say, that we don't give our 100%. Without giving our full full amount of work, we many times we just give up. So that type of thing is not change management. It is just you just it's kind of you just dropped out of the system. So it won't even qualify to for managing any type of change or something. You could not, in other words, you could not manage any type of change there. Yeah, sorry for that, Rose. Maybe sit on top of that router which you are trying to get Wi-Fi. So it must be that you are using Wi-Fi. So use Ethernet cable, please. Yeah. So then it won't happen. So look at this one, next diagram. Again, we spoke about that unconsciousness in incompetence. Yeah. No, don't sit beside it. Sit on top of it. It don't work when you sit beside it. Yeah. So unconsciousness, incompetence. Yeah. So when you don't know that you are incompetent and you are unconscious. See? And then conscious incompetence. At least you know that you are not competent in the job or whatever the thing is. And then conscious competence. You are conscious, aware, and you have to use your mind and thinking as you are performing with the competency. And then unconscious competence, where you are just competent and you are performing it without even thinking. You don't even have to think. And if you guys can recall or revisit the recording, you would see that the examples which you guys were able to give, and I was able to maybe connect them. They were very interesting. Look into this. And then we looked at Kubler-Ross grief model. You guys are aware of this, but maybe the name you guys were not aware. So what I'm trying to say, go through the website and try to take interest in this fascinating topic of change management. Not just for the undergraduate degree, or not just that you have to do this course, but with the mindset that it has the ability to give you a lot of tools, techniques to help you in your general life, in your general work, and so on. And the world is going through change right now. COVID-19, this is change. So you can maybe link it with that also. This was week one, where we were talking about and these things. For example, Virginia's Saturn change process model, we spoke about that. Look at this, reflect on this status quo, number one, and then after going through all different things, number seven, new status quo. But then again, just like that learning curve, learning curve picture. uh, Let me open it again, maybe. Yeah, just like this picture. You see, you start from here, performance, and then you go deep, and then you go up, and they are showing that you are doing even better than where you were initially. So what I was trying to say, that is not necessarily the case, because as you drop, you might do anything. You might even attempt on your life. You do suicide or whatever. Anything can happen depending on how you are taking that change and what is happening. Yeah. So same way, this picture, these are like theoretical models. So they want to present it in a way that they appeal us. So it is like you are number one here, status quo number one. First, where it says number one, status quo, and then number seven, where it says number seven in the picture, new status quo. But new status quo can be somewhere here, and you are not even where you started from. Just like in life, sometimes that thing happens. You are somewhere in life, and then you do something, and you end up even below that. Yeah. The same thing with the change model. Anything can happen, but the idea is that if you go through these processes, steps, as number two is foreign element, if foreign element is right element, and it has somehow motivated you or inspired you to change the status quo, uh, and then you are able to deal with the resistance and all the psychological, issues which are going on in your headspace and other people's who are involved, and all the chaos. And then if you are able to integrate the things, then so it is theoretically speaking, these things are very easy. Theoretically speaking, on paper they are very easy, but practical, to do practical of these things, they are, some people do it, yes, and they become great people, but majority of us, for us even to change a small habit, yeah, see, those of you who know me from earlier courses, I like sodas, Pepsis and stuff like that. Am I able to quit them to bring my new status quo, although we know that these drinks are not healthy, and we see all those advertisements, sugary drink, and government is spending a lot of money also on that. You see sometimes on Cleaner, on Observer, full page, advertisements. But am I able to stop that or not? Maybe not. It's a small thing, but it's not small thing. So you have to look in your own life also, that those small changes which you want to bring in your life, are you able to do that? Some of you, yes, but majority of us, it's kind of hard. It takes a lot of effort, energy. And then we are talking about changing the course of the university or changing the course of the city or the country. You can imagine how easy that is to promise, but how hard it can be to achieve. Yeah, these type of diagrams, I'm just trying to revise a little bit. And this is my way to welcome those who are maybe not who did not come yesterday also, that these are the things maybe we looked at. So please see how you're going to look into these artifacts. I asked you guys to think about some examples and so on. But anyways, let's move forward. So uh, chapter 2, let's start talking about that. Yeah, so we would like to talk about so first week was individual change, but even before that, just you guys tell me now, from the from the discussion of first week, where we were talking about individual change, and maybe you are not there, but you got a chance to look at the video or go through the things, or even if you did not look at anything, give me some ideas, anyone, that what did we learn in the first session, or what how they view individual change, what it takes to change ourselves individually speaking, anything on anything on change management per se. Any ideas, any thoughts? Please go ahead if something is coming.
I recall from last week that individual change based on is something that persons can fear, and persons do fear it for many reasons. Either they are comfortable with the current situation, or they are just like they crave it as well. Sorry, sorry. That's the main thing I remember, is that a lot of persons fear change. Many times
Yeah,
because they don't know how to handle it, or they're comfortable with the current situation that they're in, and they're not sure exactly how they'll adapt to change.
very good, very good, very good point. So think about this. Rose is telling us that many times it is the fear of the unknown, or what is going to happen with the change, and after the change what would happen if the company is making some changes. Employees are kind of fearful that after the change has taken place, would they be as important as they were before, if they are modernizing the systems, bringing in technology and so on. People who are not used to those type of things, they are thinking, oh, now maybe they will be replaced, those type of things. So whenever companies are going through that, they want to think about these things, that try to bring down that fear. All the fear would be there, and fear is there to save us. Basically, fear is not a bad thing per se. It is a good thing, because if we are not fearful, then we would start doing very strange things in our life. So it is fear somehow save us from keeping ourselves and others safe. So fear is good thing. But especially with change, you have to manage that fear. You first of all understand that people are going to be fearful, not because they are coward, or this fear is not about being coward or being being not brave. It is not that type of fear. It is even someone who is brave, who is he can have a little bit of fear, or it's kind more like anxiety, something new and you are not familiar with this, so you are anxious a little bit, that will I be able to, it's like having little butterflies in your stomach, and nothing is wrong in that. a little bit of a little bit of fear helps you in improve your performance. I was reading some articles about sports people. So they were saying this type of thing, that a little fear, that good to have confidence. Of course, confidence is extremely important, but also a little fear that I need to perform, otherwise the next guy might win, or next girl might win, something like that. Fear is one thing. What else? Anyone else? Those of you who maybe were not here uh, last week, any one of those can make some comment on generally on change, anything they want to say. I hope you have read your course outline. There are some marks for participation also, so you want to be careful, you want to pass the course. So any thought on that? Anything on change management, any point? Yes, Alicia, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Last week we spoke about persons who wanting to change, but because of complacency. Persons also wanting to change, but because of affordability, so that they can't afford to change. And we also touch on the psychological barriers that don't allow persons to change because of fear and trust.
Very good, Alicia. Thanks for that. Psychological barrier, trust issues, those type of things. Cleve, I think Cleve
Yeah,
has
yeah.
gone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
So last week we also spoke about, you emphasized really that the course is not aimed at reducing the problems that come with change. It really provides a framework to allow for the commissioning of change. And we also brought to the attention that in the change process we need to understand our organizations history and so on, how they managed change before, and how the psychology like motivation, incentives, um, education and learning would help ease the effects of change.
Yeah, thanks, Cleve. Anything new you would want to add, that maybe this is one thing which we did not talk about in individual change, and maybe that is important. Anything on that if you can add, because seems like you do have interest in this topic.
Not that I can think of, no.
Okay, no problem, no problem. That is fine. That is fine. That is fine. It is not important to find the answers. What is important is to ask questions. Keep on asking yourself questions always, that whenever I'm covering some topics, always ask yourself what is missing, what is the missing link, what else. So try to add to the discussion. But Cleve has very nicely mentioned couple of things which are very important. Please make note of those things. For example, history in the past, was someone able to manage change or not really. It helps you. If someone who has gone through changes and they were successful, you can maybe trust them a little bit more, that okay, this person has done this before, experience, or maybe someone who is maybe new in the field, and not that they won't be able to manage change. It is a possibility that the person who has no experience, he is able to manage change very fine. I'm not trying to say that without experience you can't do things. But you're just like in life, when someone is giving you some job, if you have experience of that, generally speaking, people think that the person who has experience, we should give the job to them. So just in that with that lens, you might want to think about that. So I'm going to start team change. Please participate in the discussion. Stop me wherever some idea come in your mind. Please stop me, because what you will say is going to be more important, uh, because I want to build on what you are going to say. Uh, that is, I think, what I would want to do. So please think about team change as we start talking about it, and keep on thinking about it also. And if some ideas come in your mind, please share with us, so all of us can can learn. Uh, don't just sit there and just, that's not a good idea. Yeah. So team change, chapter number 2. Yeah. So as you will start the chapter, basic things are there. What is a group, what is a team, what is a pair, what are some of the differences when you are going to work as a group, how it is. Those things I would like you to reflect on in your own time. You guys have worked in teams, in groups, and whatnot at your work, and even if you are not working, well, most of you are working, but still there are a couple of people who are maybe just studying. So even in that, in school we have group work, teamwork, stuff like that. So think about that. When you are working on your own, what are the dynamics? If you get some assignment on your own, you are the boss. You decide when you want to do it, how hard you want to work, what time you want to work on it, how you going to go about it. If you need to go on road and do some interviews or research or find data, or go to different offices and find information, when and how, and which way you want to do it, all of those things are in your hand. So a lot of flexibility is there, but as more and more people are going to join with you, that flexibility sometimes can go away, especially if you are not powerful. If you are powerful and you are the boss, then of course everyone is going to do the way you would want them to do. They don't have a choice. uh, but if it is like, if you're not the boss and you are like, it's colleague type of structure, then it is this different personalities, different type of, people are different, that sometimes it can be very hard to work with some people. And then it is not that they are trying to stop you from accomplishing what you want. It is just that everyone's personality is different, everyone's way of doing things is different. Everyone is just, more comfortable in one way or the other. So personalities, different personalities come and then they clash. uh, just like we were talking, a guy and girl, both of them very good. The guy is very good, the girl is very good, both are good. But when you join them, they they don't want to be together for some reason, because they can't work together. Same thing happens. So it's a like private personal relationship, these things can happen. At work these things can happen, that one person is very, talented and everything, next one is also very talented, but when you bring them together, they can't, function properly. uh, Especially if both of them want to lead the group or lead the team. Or so to be a leader, and so that's why leadership is quite an interesting and fascinating topic in change management, especially if it is more than one people. Because leader has to now, do those type of things, like, like you must have done it in other courses, like, conflict resolution, negotiation, how to listen to other, uh, how to take care of different opinions at work, all those type of things. um, those of you who are working, I'm sure you can just think in your own mind that, the challenges of working in the office, where, different, I'm sure there is one person in the office which you don't really like. You are working, but you don't get along. Same way there must be one or two person you really like them and you get along with them. So this is This is like, but the thing is that that's why goals and goal setting is very important. That is why, because the goal, whatever the goal is, all team members are just focused on that. So then personal liking disliking is not going to matter. For example, if you form a team and all of them wants to are just focused to getting like 90% or whatever, then their personal disputes, even if they have, they will have to let them go, because the focus is, what is the focus? To have arguments within the group, or the focus is to get the score what they want. So they might not get along, but they are so focused in the target that these fights won't have a lot of time. Their mind would be busy in thinking how to achieve the goal. But on the other hand, if you have too many people who are very ambitious in the team, then again the problems can come. So in both instances, the role of leader is very important. What I'm trying to say, anyone can think of any example and share it with class. Like, have you guys, can you relate with these things which I'm talking about? How is your thing like when you are working in team? Are you able to manage the in the team environment very well, or do you find some challenges? What type of challenges you find in working in a team, and how you try to resolve them? What do you think are some of the best practices to work in team? Please go ahead if anyone can say something on that. Please be vocal, please.
Well, disagreements. A lot of team experiences for me, or group experiences for me, where we meet obstacles is where we disagree on, like in my current group, we disagreed on which company to study for our class project. So
Yes.
disagreements are the main thing.
Very good point. Like this is a simple thing, but all of us can relate with this. A simple issue can become a very big issue because one person want to do it in a certain way, but one is more passionate about one idea, one company, whatever it is, and then next person is saying something else. So how to resolve those type of things can really can create many problems. So look at try to answer these questions in your own time now. What is a group, and when is it a team? Why do you need teams? What type of organizational teams are there? What? How do you improve team effectiveness? What does team change look like? What are the leadership issues in team management? Yeah, I'm trying to guide the discussions over there, but it won't be possible if you won't participate in the discussion. How do individuals affect team dynamics? Yeah, so if someone who is wise enough to understand different personalities in the team, sometimes they help in minimizing, mitigating the issues. uh, but in the long run, because we are it would be organizational change and those type of things also going forward. So that is why in our own life we can work on individually and stuff like that, but generally speaking, the projects, the way the bigger companies and bigger projects, they are not done by one. It's not one man show, no matter how smart the people are. It is many times teams, and then teams or groups, like they are coming from different cultures, different backgrounds, because nowadays international companies, they are looking for best talent. They are not interested in other things. They want to get the best talent at the lowest price. That is what they are looking for. Yeah. So and then because of the internet, the disruption internet has made in the world, these things are possible, easily accessible. We can email anyone. uh, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe that we could not reach out to people. Now access is, we have a lot of access. Think about even the actors and superstars and those type of people who like, for example, when I was growing up, the actors and actresses and models and these type of people who I would like, I did not have any access to them. I don't have any access to them even now, but if I want to send them a message, I can do that. They might not, they will not reply, of course, because they are getting a lot of message, but it is very likely that they will read it. That is very likely, because these people read it, majority of them, because they want to know how their fans are reacting and those type of things. So either they will read or someone will read for them and give them a, overall sentiment. So at least we can reach them in one way. And if they like, every now and then, you would have seen that they would like the celebrity would retweet someone's tweet, or they will like a comment, or once in a while they would even reply to the message, Facebook message or something like that. You can run a Google search and you will see that many celebrities do that. They can't do it with everyone, of course, but it goes a long way even if they do it for one or two people, because it shows that they are interested in their fans and stuff like that. So see, the reach is easy. Same way for companies. Our access to companies is more because of social media and stuff like that. Our voice will reach to the top man in the company, maybe not directly, but indirectly it can reach, because you post, you must have seen examples where people have posted negative comments about some companies, and they go viral and they post pictures and stuff like that, and company's reputation is gone down. uh, so think about that thing. But I think let's come back to team management, because that is what we want to focus on for now. How well do teams initiate and adapt to organizational change? This is where Cleveland was trying to explain us that history and those type of things are important. So how do they react to these type of organizational change? I think these type of questions you would have to think in your own time. What are, maybe look at some definitions. A lot of definitions are, we'll see in the, so for example, make note of table 2.1, differences between groups and teams. Yeah, try to make something. The common interest is there in a group. Yeah, in a team or work group there are common overarching objectives, and this is what I was essentially talking about: setting objectives, setting goal setting, so that you are more focused on the. Yes, Denise, please go ahead. Yes, Denise, you want to say something? You raised your hand.
Oh, sorry about that. We're having audio issues. So, what I was saying to that is well, I have always operated within a team environment, but right now I'm one of the so my team deals with sales. So I'm one of the senior sales officers on my team, and what they I mean, team is great. I mean, if it is that you have someone who is, weaker on an aspect of we are judged on KPIs. So, like sales is a KPI, efficiency is a KPI. Those are key performance indexes. So if it is that you have a team member who is weak on one KPI, it doesn't necessarily affect the overall team, and that team member can still be, you know, give, still be given a good performance at the end of the year. Because if the team would perform well, that one team member would not necessarily affect the team rating. But then
Very
it can
interesting.
go the other way, where
Mm.
you can be the one that is performing well in a certain KPI, and then you have the team which is not really doing well. So right now, my team right now is not really doing well in efficiency, and then you have some, overperformers that are really meeting the target and doing what they're doing. However, the team on a whole is still, below the expected target of the entire, department. So because of that, we were given a fail for the quarter in terms of, how quickly we're able to meet our targets, etc., and exceed our targets. So we were given a feel for that. So that is the weakness of a team really. But again, it gives us a chance to strategize again as a team and figure out how to ensure that we next quarter in that KPI. So again, KPI, key performance index. So that there are strengths and weaknesses of teams when it comes into organization. You're not assessed individually as probably you wish you would. You're now assessed as a part of a larger unit, and depending on how the larger unit does, then that in turn is your rating.
Excellent. Thanks for this contribution, Denisa. Let me ask you a couple of things. When there is this type of situation, for example, you explained that there is some fail rate and stuff like that. How do you motivate your team members that okay, we are going to come out of this and don't worry about that? How do you give support, or what is the culture of your organization? How do they what do they do, like when these type of failures happen? How do they lay
So
off
right
people, or
now,
what do they do?
you in a case, yeah. So well, what you do now is to put in place sanctions and rewards. So of course, you in order for you to meet the performance expectation, you have to be doing the right things. So if it is that you're not doing the right things, then there are sanctions that are put in place against you. And if you are doing the right things, but you're just probably having difficulties, then there are programs. We have recently launched the peer program, which is someone who is strong in a particular area would then work with someone who is weaker in another area to have them bring that person up to the expected target.
Very good.
So we have that program now launched, and we reward those that are performing exceptionally well to motivate ones that are not really performing to perform better. So that is currently what is in place right now.
Mm. Thanks very much. Appreciate that. So I think about these things, guys, which Denisa has mentioned. For example, after fail, she said that after fail there is a chance to strategize or re-strategize. I like that mindset, that how she put it. That she's saying that you fail, but that is a yes, you fail, but that is a chance for you to improve also. It depends on how you are looking at fail. What is the culture of the organization? What is the culture of the team? Because no matter how you create the team and how you create the group, every now and then some projects are going to not meet the the targets for the KPIs which you might have set. Not because you are not capable. It is just if you dream big, if you are trying to aim high, then your chances for not hitting your aim are going to increase, because you are coming out of your comfort zone. You are trying to experiment new things, and that is how companies innovate and bring new idea development, research and development, innovation, these creativity. These things happen because of that type of liberty. But depends on companies culture here, that how much they are going to allow you to play on your own. And then but I am happy that Denisa is saying that there are some structures, policies. Maybe she's talking about reward, or punishment, or whatever you want to call it. Those type of things help. So think about these things in the teams you have worked, in the groups you have worked. If you had any issues in the groups and teams, try to reflect on them and try to think that how what could be done, so they don't happen again. That type of thinking uh, can help you manage maybe they can help you in managing teams which are going through change, although it is very hard, because the nature of change is that it takes away the earth below your feet. That is the nature of change. It just kind of uproots you. So very different type of personalities are required to really manage change. Sometimes people can't even understand the sensitivity of the situation in the early days. They cannot understand the early warning signs which some people can see in teams in terms of conflict resolution and so on. Think about these things. So I was saying that this is a nice table. You should look into that. What are the difference between groups and teams? More importantly, because this is change management course, so think using that lens. For example, this one, shared responsibilities. It's the same idea, shared. If you will share something, you will be able to, be a little bit closer with each other in the team, in the group. When you are working with other people, because you have something to share between yourself. So that sharing you need to develop that what is the idea which you are sharing. Is the idea that you are going to make the company great or make your department great, uh, or the idea is to top the course, just like I mentioned
Are
earlier
you
that.
hearing me?
Yes, please, Abigail, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, Abigail, please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to add that sometimes teams can be temporary because, are you hearing me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Are you hearing me? Okay, yes,
Abigail,
I wanted
please.
to add that teams can be temporary sometimes because teams are formed because they have, I don't think. I wanted to add that teams can be temporary because they're formed to meet specific goals and specific objectives. And when those specific goals and objectives have been achieved, they tend to disband. So they come together for a certain project, and when that project has completed, they will disband after the project has been completed. So groups can sometimes be more permanent, while teams can be more.
Yes, interesting point. Abby has shared with us, like what is the type, what is the nature of uh, the the people who are going to come together. So many times they are temporary. It's not like it's not type of permanent type of thing. Temporary, they will, for different projects they will bring in people, and they will have to work together for a certain amount of time simultaneously. Sometimes you might be working with a different set of people for different set of projects. That is also possibility. So those type of things also kind of ease the pressure of change, because that if it is a temporary thing, then that it is just for 4 months or this quarter or 2 months. But then it also weakens the team also, in the sense, if the shared responsibility is not big, because you will say, oh, I'm just here for short amount of time, why should I bother? Let them do how they want to do. Sometimes people just withdraw from the team if their ideas are not appreciated, or they think that, or they perceive the other members to be not cooperating and stuff like that. That can happen in international teams a lot, even in local teams, because the culture of any country is, although we can say that just like let's pick up Jamaica. Is the culture of Jamaica same, one culture? No, it's not like that. People coming from different socio-economic structures, different education level, different jobs, they are quite different in how they talk, how they behave, what they like to do in their free time, all of those type of things. Same way in any country, you pick up any country, this is how it is. So those type of things impact the shared, the thing which the team or the group or the people who are working together on some project, what they are going to share, what is similar, why they should be together. That is very important. That is why, you know, the purpose of the organization, that is very important. Like, you know, what are you trying to do, accomplish? So if the purpose, if the objective is not same, that then it's not going to work out. It has to be same, and uh, people should be really really involved and interested, and they should be seeing that what is the benefit for them in working for the team and for the group. It should be very clear to them, and maybe then they will get involved a little bit. It's quite hard, it's not easy. Now, for example, look at this. We have like around 25, 26 people right now in this group. That is a big number, it's not a small number. 25, 26 people. Think about it. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to have a dialogue, I'm trying to have a conversation. And what are you guys trying to do? Yeah, are you trying to do the same thing or not? So our what we are trying to do is maybe different. You are just trying to listen, and that's it. And maybe I'm trying to talk. So how are we going to, how we will be able to accomplish whatever is required for this course? It will be very hard. So why are you here? Why are you here right now? Yeah, this is a question you should ask. Why are you here? Are you here because you have to attend or something like that, or you are here by choice? It is your choice to be here. You are here to just to see what happens in the class, and so you can, maybe pass the course. Or you are really here to see that how to, this team change is very interesting topic. Let me share my thoughts with other people, and let them share their thoughts, and together maybe we are going to come to some conclusions that okay, in team change, these are the maybe basic things which we should uh, take care of. Maybe share our stories in which we failed sometimes. Like, one friend, then he shared the story where maybe her team is not maybe performing at the level where they usually would. And of course there are, because many things are happening in the country, in the world, COVID-19, working from home, all those type of things are happening. Maybe that is one reason, maybe some other reasons are there. But she was frank enough to, share the story that yes, okay, no problem, we are not performing well right now, but eventually we will come on our feet. So shared. What do we share? So what I'm trying to say, that being in a team or being in a group is not enough. Just like all of us are together in this room, that is not enough. A lot of things are required. So if to meet the whatever the, and then if the people don't have that burning desire on their own, maybe you cannot motivate people. Maybe if they have to feel it also, only then you can. There must be some little thing in their heart, and then you motivate them. If the thing is dead, how are you going to, just like your car don't start, so you jump start it. There must be something in the battery, only then it will start. If there is nothing in the battery, it's not gonna start. So team selection, that is what I'm trying to, team group selection. Who are the people in the team? That is also, because sometimes you are in the group, you just have to run with the things. You don't have a lot of time to explain, and this is what is the reason behind this, and this is, you just have to, go in the thing and just perform. The reason is that, the companies are working on tight time schedules. It is not that, you have to meet the deadlines. You have to meet the deadlines. If you are not meeting the deadlines, you're not going to go far. In anything in life, generally in life, time is very important factor. But then there are cultures of some companies, some departments, some countries have the culture of, a little laid back, a little, relaxed, chilled culture, generally speaking.
So I have to agree with you on the issue of the culture of time. the organization that I work for, with a government agency, and it is generally understood that Jamaican government agencies have no regard for time. And working with some of the people I'm in charge of, realize that they really just don't care, and trying to motivate them becomes an even greater burden that I think it ought to be. And understanding that you require some new things of them slows them down even more because of the resistance to the change process. I've been doing this for 50 years or whatever the case may be, and it just impedes the whole change process, which ultimately leads to the project failure.
Excellent contribution to the discussion, Palmer. I really appreciate it. So our friend is talking about project failure. Now, these are projects. Project failure. Just run a Google search. How many? What is the project success rate in the world? Just run a project failure rate. Just run a Google search. Project failure rate. You will see most of the 65% of the projects in the world, they fail. Why do they fail? We are talking about basic projects. And now if we're going to talk about Jamaica and how we want to transform our country, and we want to bring technology in it, and government is doing great things, but if those type of things, it has nothing to do with reality, because reality might not, although Palmer is working in the government sector and he definitely knows what it is, but I'm sure that Palmer is going to agree that there are definitely government officials who are on time, who do things on timely manner. What do you think, Palmer? Are there any people who are really time conscious and they really do things on time?
Yes, definitely, without a doubt.
Sorry?
Without a doubt, especially the more senior officials, they tend to be more time conscious.
Yeah.
But after that, it just they just don't care after that, to be honest.
Yes. So he says there are people who are, and he's saying the top level people. They are trying to do things, but they need cooperation. If cooperation is not going to come from the grassroots, what the leader can do? Leader can do what they can do, but then it's whole society needs to perform. Look, see, if I'm leading the discussion, I can just ask you, please participate. I can put scores for speaking in the course outline. I can ask you questions again and again, and remind you that this is it. But at the end of the day, if you decide that you are not going to speak, what can happen? Same thing for the leader. And Palmer is very right in saying that top officials, many times, not all of them, but in government agencies, our government agencies have very, very good officials also in all departments. But what is the perception? If you ask someone that how is government, how is government officials, people are going to say they are not good. Let's pick up any department. Let's say police. If I ask you, what do you think about policeman? Well, how is police, Jamaican police? You might say that they are not good. They are corrupt. They are doing their own type of things. They are involved in all different types of crimes, and that is not false. That is true also. But you can't stereotype JCF, because definitely there are many police officers who are really fighting on the line of duty. They are very serious about their work. They don't get involved in any nonsense. They don't take bribe. All of those I've personally seen. I've my personal experience. But what is the perception? Perception is not, and at the end of the day, it is about perception. So if this type of perception we will have about our beautiful country, then how we will transform, how we will change our country, why people will come and do foreign direct investment, why companies from foreign are going to come. They are not going to come. Why? Not because we are not good, because our perception is not good. Our For his crime rate, people who are going to come, companies who would want to come and invest, when they will run a search, and they will find out that the killing rate and all these type of things, and would they want to come? Maybe not. Perception management. So it's quite a difficult, it's very difficult for these government officials to manage their teams. And it is not the fault of of the top leader, and it is not even the fault of subordinates, but because look at how expensive the life is for general, a normal regular Jamaican, how expensive it is. Yeah. And then what is his pay scale? And in that, if he's going to take some stationery from the office to for his kids at home, in his mind he's thinking that he's doing right. So this concept of bringing change in the country, and we voted green to bring change in the last election, majority of the people, uh, well, very thin. They have a very thin majority. They narrowly won the thing, but they are trying. Yeah, but it's very hard to bring change. That is the point which I think we need to think about, and that should not discourage us. The point is that it is hard, but we need to go in it very prepared. So bringing change in the society, bringing change in the organization, everyone has to take ownership. Everyone. For example, those campaigns, don't dirty Jamaica, those type of things. What was the name of that campaign? Please remind me. I'm forgetting. There was some campaign which said that don't dirty, don't dirty Jamaica. Anyone remembers that campaign? A couple of years ago, I think. But on the other hand, if you go to any beach or sorry, what was the name?
Don't dirty up Jamaica.
Yes, not dirty up Jamaica. Yes, yes, something like that. Yeah, so that campaign was there, and then if you look at what is happening, I just saw a couple of days ago in a very nice place, a guy just came out and he just spit. He spit. So how the country can transform? How, just run a Google search, Singapore. Run this Google search, Singapore, and the fine for spitting on the road. Just please do that. Please do it now. Singapore, fine for spitting on the road. Fine for throwing any garbage on the road. Yeah, please do that.
Yes, $1,000 and $2,000 for the second.
How much it is, Kensley? Please repeat it again. Please type
It's
it out. Yeah, so Kensley is going to type it. So because I don't want to say it, because then some friends might say that I'm just making up stories. Yeah, that's why I'm asking you guys to do that. So shortly, Kensley is going to maybe type, or someone else can please type that. What is the fine? Look at that, $1,000 first offense, 2,000 anytime after, and this is not 1,000 Jamaican dollar. This is serious money. Convert it to Jamaican dollar, and then so Singapore is not where they are by chance. The people are taking involvement. Yeah, 5,000 third offense. Yes, this is how that country is. This is how they are Singapore. Yeah, and find out other type of charges. Find out the charge to not flush in a public toilet. You forgot to flush in a public toilet, and the police is just going to take you with with you and just put you there for some amount of time. You will never forget. Yeah. So these type of things, which distinguish are developed. And I'm not so. For example, yeah. So think about these things. So in a group or in a team, yeah, not for flushing. Yeah, very good. Kensley is telling you. Yeah, so that is why. Thank you, Kensley, for supporting this and helping me with this, because I did not want to tell the numbers, because then it might seem that I'm just coming up with something. Yeah, so please run some. Please try to understand what is happening. So same way, what I'm trying to say, that in a group, in a team, everyone has to take ownership. Yeah, but then how to create ownership? How to create ownership in the hearts and minds of your group members, or in the first instances when we are going to talk about Jamaica, for example, how to create ownership when you will not have jobs, when you have don't have security against crime, when the business community is paying what do you call it, that money which the gang people come and collect it, I'm forgetting what you call it. Yeah, those type of things, when that is going to happen. Sorry.
Protection. Money.
Yes, protection money. Yeah, protection money. When they are going to do that, then where is the ownership? Everyone is going to keep their own gun. Where is ownership? There is it's so it these are words. These are fancy words which political leadership use. So that is why developing countries keep on this path throughout. Very hard to come out unless the leadership is very strict and the regular normal people listen. Unless that thing does not happen, nothing is going to happen. Same way in a group, in a team, it is not a one man show. You might pass the assignment or whatever, but if you really want to perform, all individuals in the team need to perform really well. All should be sharing the purpose, the passion, what you are trying to do. If people are not connected on those dots, then it is going to be very difficult, very difficult. Not impossible, that but almost close to impossible, especially in the context of teams. And that is why I just asked you to run a Google search that how many projects fail in the world. Someone can please do that and maybe type it in the chat. I think it is 65-70% of, you can run it for example, IT projects. How many IT projects fail in the world, globally speaking? You will see something like 70%. Please run a search. How many people in the, what percentage of people are not interested in their work? Please run this search and give me the figure. Give us the figure. Anyone can do that? Please run a search that how many people, what percentage of people are not interested in their work? Yeah. What percentage of people are not interested in their job? They are just doing it for to pay the bills and whatever. Yeah, they are not interested in their job. You will be surprised to live. It's not 50%. It's not 60%. It's not 70%. Yeah, you will be surprised how what and the numbers come from United Nations. You can run the search, put in United Nations also, and find the numbers for yourself. In this context, it is really amazing that how some teams are able to perform very, very, very well. 85%, 85%. Milicia Brown is giving us the figure. I am not saying it because you might have a doubt. That is why I am asking you guys to run the search. And thank you very much, Milicia, for running the search. 85% of the people are not interested in their job. 85%. How you are going to form a team? Who you are going to form the group with? How you are going? Especially, I'm not talking about these teams and groups which we are all familiar with, and Denise also gave us some example and stuff like that. I'm talking in the context of change. When you are already not interested in the job, and 85% of the people in the world are not interested in the job, with those not interested people, how you are going to form a team who is going to manage change, who is going to work well when the change will come? Because the nature of change is that it disrupts you. How you are going to do that? That is what we want to reflect on in this course. We don't want to just do it to pass. That's not interesting. And then Kensley is giving us the number, the research earlier, about 70% of organization have at least one project failure. 70% of the organization, and these are global numbers. He's not talking about Jamaica or something. And these are, you can run the search yourself. These are authentic numbers coming from top organizations in the world. who do work assessment. And can you imagine 85% of the people not interested? Can you imagine 70% of the organization have at least one project failure? Yeah, think about these things. These are real serious things. So when we will think about these things, then at least we would understand that what it will take to bring change, transformation, real transformation. Yeah, please do that. Then but look at this table. Anyways, let's come back. Table 2.1, differences between groups and team. Look into these. For example, individual accountability. Denise gave us examples of reward and stuff like that. You can think about those type of things throughout the chapter. I told you in last week also, there will be questions like these. Stop and think. Please feel free to stop and think on those, reflect on these, try to develop your own understanding. The chapter asks you question, why we need teams. Many reasons. Fundamental reason is that individually, if you are going to perform, maybe you would not have all the skills and capabilities to complete the task. So that is why you bring in the team people who are skilled in particular areas and stuff like that. That is one reason. uh, Cross cultural teams are becoming more and more the reality of workplace. Then you have to yeah, think about that in your own. I don't want to give you a lot of ideas. I want you to think about these type of basic things. The type of organization, our friend already told us that there are different type of teams. For example, temporary teams, long term teams, long distance teams. uh, the type of organizational teams. What so you would for this you would want to reflect on first the type of organizations. There are different type of organizations. To be effective in those organizations, you would want to have uh, that that style in the team which is favorable or conducive to the environment of that organization. Google company is very known throughout the world how effectively they manage their projects. Although they also fail, just like any other company, not because they are not smart, but because they are taking a lot of initiatives and they are trying new things. So when you are going to try new things, your chances of failure becomes high. So they have very interesting programs. You can run some search. I invite you to run some search in your own time. Try to find how Google organize their teams. There are clips on YouTube. I've seen them. They are very interesting short clips. You learn a lot. How do they decide what when we talk about incentives? What type of incentives they give them? Very interesting things. In local corporate world, in Jamaican corporate world, there are some companies which give incentive, very nice intensive incentives. Looking at our own environment, because in our environment there are a lot of single mothers who raise their kids. And generally speaking, men are not maybe taking, generally speaking, uh, uh, of course some men are many men are take care of their kids and girlfriends and wife and so on. But because the nature of how the Jamaica is, that the uh, Jamaican girls are very strong. They are independent and they're different type of girls if you compare it with the rest of the globe. And I'm not just saying it for myself. Sorry, yes, please go ahead.
No, that was an error.
Okay. Yeah, so I was saying that even if you look at statistics, like which country has the most number of female managers. I was looking at the number some time ago. uh, so that is, yeah, so I'm just trying to pick that number. I think I yeah, so highest percentage of women in managerial position, Number 1 is Jamaica, 59.3% in the. So we need to balance the debate. So when I'm talking about Singapore and people are not interested here and people are not maybe working and whatnot, on the same hand we need to appreciate the good things which we have in Jamaica also. Let me share the screen with you guys from the laptop which I'm using, so I can show you because we definitely we need to celebrate good things also. Everything is not bad. Yeah, yeah, look at this. uh, yes, it is visible on your screen now. So look at this chart. Yeah, this is coming from expert market website, and look at this. The top countries with highest percentage of women in managerial positions in the world. Yeah, top 10 countries. Which country is number 1? Jamaica, a little small country in the world, a small dot on the map of the world, but look at this. Women managerial 59.3, and number 2 is not even close. It's not even close. Number 2, Colombia, is 53.1. So this shows that what is happening in the country. So this is the structure we have, that women can do the things on their own also. Yeah, let me go back and share what I was sharing. So in this context, you would want to think. Uh, okay, I see the Kian is saying that is surprising fact. Yes, it is surprising, because when we look at our situation, when we look at the violence uh, Jamaican men do to women, and Jamaican women also do violence to Jamaican men. I know personally that I've seen this, and I know people who I believe and trust, and they tell me that what happens in behind the. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these things, and we read this in newspaper also. So this type of statistics you would say, how is that? But look at, go to any organization. How many women you going to see? Go to university. Who you see when you go in a full-time regular school? When I'm conducting session, it is girls. Guys are like not really. Some guys are, not all the guys, but I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say, that generally speaking, girls are more into education. Girls are more into that. But because many times, because of the glass ceiling and those type of things at the top of the game, many times you would see that the CEO is a male, but there are many female CEOs also, female vice presidents, and so on. You can look that up. But let's go back. We're going a little bit far from this. So type of organization you would want to think. So I was trying to say that do some research on these type of companies, like Google. I was talking about Google. So please run some search on this and try to understand how do they manage the team. What are the things uh, they do? How do they incentivize all those type of things? But then one can argue that the people they hire, the people Google is going to hire, uh, they are already very motivated, and they are the brightest mind in the world, and they are very accomplished. So they work maybe differently. They are more interested. But I'm trying to say that the fun activities which these type of companies give, which would help them to be more creative, more innovative. That is what I was trying to say. And then I was saying that in local companies also, like NCB, Scotia Bank, these type of big companies in the country, they give some benefits to women, a single woman, and they, like for example, they would have a little place where the child can play, and after school service, something like that. They would include that. So those type of things help Well, they help to some certain extent, but in any country where the fabrication of family is broken, where people are not going to get married and have children and give the safety and security to the child, any country like that, it is quite hard for the people in that country, because a lot of talent is going to get wasted. And I'm sure you guys see that. I see that all the time when we go to country, or that rural areas or something like that. We see that smart kids and smart boys, smart girls, they are not going school, and they are just sitting there, and some are enjoying ganja, or some are just wasting their time and stuff like that. If they are given chance, maybe they will get brighter than us. They were just not. You and me were given a chance. I was given a chance to study, and whatever you are given a chance. So we are talking about these things just like comfortably here, but people's circumstances are different. And I'm talking about all these things in the international context also. It is not just Jamaica, any developing country. These are the issues of all developing countries, that they want to create change, they want to transform, bring change. Any country, any developing country. And then these type of hindrances are there: socio-economic, psychological barriers. All these type of things come in the way, and it is very hard to overcome those things. But definitely, in this course, we will look some theoretical background and some framework which maybe can be used to help us in those situations. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say essentially is that these tasks are difficult. So when you go in them, if you go in them, and when you go in them, don't give up very early. That is the fundamental point, because the success is not going to come right away. You have to sustain the. So if you want to, so for example, 5 year is a lot of time. Yeah. 5 year is a lot of time for you and me. But to turn the course of a country, 5 time is not a lot of time, especially if that company has a lot of IMF loans and World Bank loans and those type of things. 5 years is nothing. Before the prime minister is going to understand what is happening in the departments, it will be 2 years, 3 years. So now he need to perform because he is going into next election. Yeah. So what type of government is there in China? What type of government is China? China is the country where COVID-19 came. How quickly they managed it? How quickly they managed it? Did COVID-19 spread across China? No. Why not? Because the government just say and people have to do it. They don't have choice. They have to do it. Now in the West, we say that that is wrong. We say that democracy is the right thing. You say that, I say that. Very good. But look at this. What happened? US is democracy. What happened there? So of course I'm trying to say that there are so many other factors, and it's not just about COVID-19 and these type of things. I'm saying that look at different styles, because in the team when you will be managing a team or group for in the change process, what leadership style you would want? Do you want a democracy where everyone is debating and spending first week in trying to come on board? There are positives and negatives for that, of course. Or you just want a Chinese style, that just the order and instruction, that type of thing. And then you will see that different organizations, they have different people in the organization. You must have seen other managers, other people where you work. Some people are more democratic, some people are more, they just tell, they say do it like this, and then you just follow that. you know so which type of style is more suitable to bring in change in a developing country? what type of group leadership is useful. That can form a nice decent question for you guys to reflect on. Yeah, think about these things in your own time, please. Table 2.2, this is interesting table, types of teams, projects, work group, team. Yeah, spend location. For example, I briefly spoke about that the because the emphasis is on getting the best talent, so many times the teams or members of the teams or groups, they are dispersed, they are coming from different regions, their language is many times different, the way of doing things are different. But look at this one, purpose. I think this is very interesting. Purpose, what is the purpose? What is connecting them, the shared value which they are going to bring uh, in the team. Purpose and authority, that is what I was trying to speak about when I spoke about China, how they manage, and US and other countries and stuff like that. Yeah, authority, where the focus is, these type of things. Please try to link them with the discussion which we are trying to have. Different types of teams: matrix team, virtual team, network team. These are some things which you are going to look into in your own time, please. Yeah, just simple basic things. You just have to read and try to understand what is happening. This is very interesting. How to improve team effectiveness. Yeah, so please go ahead and tell us, what do you think? How to improve team effectiveness? What are some of the things we can do in our context to improve the effectiveness of team? What are the basic steps which needs to be taken if we want to improve the efficiency of a team, effectiveness of the team, the performance of the team, productivity of the team? How to improve those things? Any thoughts on that? Please go ahead.
Okay, something that I try to do as first thing I go in teams is to do a personality test. So I understand or try to understand what motivates each person in the team.
Very
Then I go on to trying to get everybody a common vision and goal to kind of solidify what we have to do to really improve the effectiveness of the team.
Very good. Thanks for the pointer. So, one thing is, personality. So, what is the personality like? So, one thing is like skills. Do they have skills? Yes, they have skills. Do they have capacity, capability? Yes, they have. They have those things. But what is their personality like? That becomes very important because you're going to work with other people. What is the personality like? Do they get angry very easily? Do they get frustrated very easily when other people are going to say that no, this idea is not good, your idea is not, I have this idea? How do they react to that type of personality assessment? Because you can be very skilled, but it's about right fit. You have to fit in the team. It is just like, you what is a good shoe? What is a good shoe? A good shoe is which fits properly in your feet and it is comfortable. Only then you can walk a mile or so, or whatever. But if the shoe is very fancy and expensive but it does not fit, then what you going to do with that shoe? It is just a showpiece. People will say, oh, you have very expensive shoe and whatever, but it's not for walking purposes. You can't do much. It When you wear it, you are very uncomfortable. It's a nice shoe for the person whom it fits. For a person whom it does not fit, it is not the right shoe. Shoe is same, the brand is same, the quality is same, but it's just not right fit. Yeah, so that is, personality. It should fit with the team. If it is not fitting, it's just not fitting. That's it. So personality. And then with personality, it can be, it's time consuming. It is just not that you will just do a test and you will understand someone's personality. Personality is quite diverse. How I can just give you a test and then say, okay, this is the personality. It's quite a thing. Personality can assess things. I'm not saying it cannot assess, but then human beings are, quite a mind is quite a complex thing. Yeah. So look at that. And how much time do you have to, do all those type of testing and stuff. And sometimes people are good in faking also, so that is also another part of the discussion, but we don't want to go there. So personality test, then our friend is saying that, common, something common, something common goal, common vision, something like that. Okay, what else you guys think? Please give me some ideas. What has been your experience? What did you do to improve effectiveness in a team or group? Yeah. Or what did you observe at work or at school? What is the key thing? What are two, three, four key things which really help in improving the effectiveness in team? Any ideas, please? Please go ahead.
Well, I feel communication is one of the most important things in any team of any sort. Being active and open communication about goals and problems and everything.
Yeah, very good, Rose. So communication, so I cannot see you. Yeah, I cannot see you guys. But most of you guys have seen me. You guys know me. I know you. Yeah. So I'm very comfortable in speaking with you. Although I'm just looking at this little dot on my laptop, but I know you are listening to what I'm saying, and I trust that you will see wherever you can pitch in some line. You will do that. So that type of thing, communication. Yeah, that is very important, where you can really, speak your heart out without being judged. You can share your thoughts, that okay, I feel about this topic, I feel like that, this issue I feel like that. But think about, if this has to do a lot with the culture. This culture is going to, support that or not. you know at workplace, when you do things, people people judge you on what you say. Right now you guys are judging me on what I have been saying. Those of you who have not met me in person or something like that, you you are seeing me for the first time. You have already created a mental picture about me, that okay, this guy, this is what it seems like, this type of personality, and so on, so forth. Yeah. So this is how we make assessments. So on one hand, we need to really be careful what we say, but then on the other hand, if we are not like really expressive and, trying to really tell the other person what we really feel, then the communication will be shallow. It won't be a heartfelt communication. So you have to, it's difficult balance. You have to manage your perception in the hearts and mind of other people, in the team, in the group. But then on the same side, you want to show that you are interested, you are passionate, you are involved with them uh, on the project or whatever. Yeah. So it's not, it's quite demanding, it's quite difficult. So very good points. Personalities you would want to assess, find out common goal, common vision. Palmer told us that. Then Rose is telling us communication is key. You don't want to get lost in translation. And with communication, I might be saying one thing, but with some intention. It is not necessary that you will understand what I'm trying to say. Same for you guys. You have not you experienced this in life, that you try to tell someone something, some family member, some close loved ones or whatever, but they get some other idea and they misunderstood you. And then you later on said, I did not mean that. When I said that, I did not mean that. And those people are close to you, they could not understand what you really meant. Think about it. All of us have gone through these type of experiences, where either we try to say something to someone and they misunderstood, or someone was telling us something and we misunderstood. Remember that those beautiful points one of our friends made about psychological barrier last week. Yeah, I'm trying to remember that conversation. So think about that. These are real issue. How you, and the communication, uh, you don't want to be very loud, that you are shouting on the hand. If you are too speaking too low, then there is problem. So this is so difficult. It's not easy communication. And then you are communicating, but the other person is really listening or not. Is it you are just saying what you have to say, other people are not even listening? Are you really listening to what I am saying? Ask yourself, are you really listening to what I am saying, or you are thinking about some other things? Yeah. So for most of you, you would be thinking about something else. You would not be listening to me. Yeah. That is how it is. And it's not about you and me. It is generally speaking in life. Uh, Generally speaking, you can run some search on this also. What percentage of the world really listen? Most of people don't listen. So, and give me one more point. Yeah, so good points: personality test, common vision, common goal, communication. Any other key thing which you think that it would improve team effectiveness? What is the key to improve effectiveness in a team? What do you guys think? Give me some points, please.
So there need to be clearly defined roles. So I believe people should know what role they're supposed to play. They need to know what they're doing, not just for themselves. Everyone should be aware of the others' roles. So what we do at the beginning of every project, we have a team organizational chart that shows who's the team lead, the various team members, and then their role.
Very important, very important. Yes. So beginning, you just clearly define what the roles are, what the people are going to do. So it is. So see, even in a good thing, there can be some drawback. So this point is very good, that in the beginning you need to clarify roles so everyone is understand what is their responsibility and so on. Very good. I totally appreciate it. But there is a something wrong can also go in this beautiful thought. For example, you have to do something, and if you are unable to do, I won't jump in and do it, because I would say this was her job, this was his job. I'm not going to do it. Have not you seen it in the organization? Generally speaking, in the organization, you ask someone to do it, and they say, this is not my job, I'm not going to do it. Have not you seen that? I have seen it all the time, wherever I go, especially at the lower level staff, or mid ranking staff. Top people are never like that. Top people, you would see top people, the people who reach at the top, you will see them do small jobs. They will pick up the garbage from the as they are walking through the headquarters. There is some wrapper or something. They are going to pick up. They have no problem like that. That is why they reached where they are. There is a reason why the person who is the CEO of the company, you might dislike them, and that is fine, but these are the things which they have. So they do define goals and these type of things, as our friend explained, and they are very important. But I'm trying to bring this point in mind, that yes, you define whose job is what, but you also help them if they are not able to do something, without saying that it is not your job. That is where shared value is going to come. If you will really share, you care about the organization, only then you will do it. Otherwise, why you would do it? You will say, well, it is fine. You will say it is not my job, because you don't really care for the company, or you don't really share. And in this, as we are thinking about that, in this, please remember that 85% of the people are not interested in their job. Now you can think where we are going. So in the team, you need to do all these things, but definitely think about interest, passion. Are you seeing that in these pointers? No, you are not seeing that. You are seeing team vision, planning, goal setting, very important. You guys mentioned it. You are seeing team roles. You guys mentioned it. Team operating processes, procedures, in last class someone mentioned it. Team interpersonal relationships, in the last class people mentioned interpersonal relationship. Inter-team relations, inter-team problems, you guys kind of mentioned it in this session. But I'm not seeing interest, I'm not seeing passion, I'm not seeing, the commitment to work in the team, those type of things. Yeah. So those type of things you also need to take care of. So don't just look at the book and see, okay, this is what they have written and that's it. No, it is, you need to think about your own things. Like for me, I think if I am selecting a team, I would look for these things. Like I will look for all these things which you guys mentioned and are in the book. They are of course important. I'm not trying to talk against them, but I'm saying that we need to look at other things also, like how much the person is passionate to work on this project. Maybe right now they do not have competency, full competency in the project. Maybe they will need training, but their interest level is very high. They are really interested in working on that project for some reason. And then you would tell them that, oh, you don't qualify because you don't have this or you don't have that. Yeah. But this is kind of controversial topic because some people really think that you should have done the, so for example, if you want a job in project management, some people would say that you must have done a certification in project management. Yes, very good, you should have done. I'm not saying you should not have done, but I'm saying that, yeah, if your interest level is very high and other things are there and you are really passionate, committed, determined to do the thing, if you don't have done it yet, a simple test can be taken. And if you understand the basics of project management, if you understand the importance of completing the task on time and so on, and we can give you a support from someone who has done the project management course, and then you can work on it. I think why not? In some cultures they let you do that. In some cultures they don't look for a bachelor's in operations management if they are going to give you an operation assistant manager's job. They look for skill set. So they look for that in our department, operation manager, assistant operation manager, what are the things they have to do. So they will make a list of those things and they will just assess the candidate against those skills. That's it. If they have a bachelor's degree in operation management, very good. If they don't have, no problem, they have the skill set. Yeah, they have the attitude. They have not you seen people who have the qualification and everything, but they don't have attitude. They don't have that fire in them. Yeah. What you going to do with the degree? Lot of you are don't have lot of you don't have lot of you don't even have an undergraduate degree. Yeah, you are studying for it, but see, are not you doing well in your job because you have experience? Many things you have, a lot of things what a regular undergraduate student in the full time, they don't know these things. They don't know. You have hands-on work experience. Yeah, but you don't have qualification yet. So no problem. But in some companies they will say, no, you have to have first show us the paper, bachelor's degree, and then we will give you promotion. Is that right or wrong? Should not you get promotion based on what you can perform? You're going to get bachelor's degree. It is not that hard. It is just that it might take some time, but you will get the degree. Yeah. So in some cultures they don't look at these things. They don't look at they are not just looking at that, the degree, if you have the relevant degree. I'm not saying it is not good if you have it. If you have it, very good. But what is more important in improving the effectiveness in teams is the attitude, is the ambition, is interest, these type of intangible type of things. Sometimes they make a difference. Yeah, because when the challenge will come and you have interest, you will overcome the challenge because you are interested. You are going to you're going to find some way. Yeah, but definitely these were just some pointers you need to, so now read the details in the book chapter in your own time, of course, like, team, mission planning, goal setting, team roles, all these type of things which you guys mentioned. Look at table 2.3 maybe, in your own time again. Effectiveness and effective and ineffective team, Yeah, for example, these things you guys mentioned, clarity of goals and clear direction lead to greater task accomplishment. Yeah, and increased motivation. So these are very important. And if there is lack of purpose and unclear goals, then of course things are not going to happen the way they should have, or they could have. Okay, there are some models in the chapter. Throughout the course, there are a lot of models. There are a lot of models, like 20 plus models are there, 20, 30 models, something like that, theoretical models. Yeah. So let's look at a couple of them. So table 2.4, you might want to look at that. Make note of table 2.4. It gives you a little summary of key attributes in the stages of team development. But let's look at this. For example, this one is Tuckman's model of team change. Tuckman's, yeah. So maybe you are not familiar with the name of the model, which is Tuckman or Tuckman, whatever it is. But you know the steps. You have heard them a lot of time in various courses. Forming. What is the next one after forming? You guys remember? Storming. What is the next one? You guys remember? No? You have not done this? Norming. Yeah. And what is the next one?
It's
Performing.
Yeah. So you guys are aware of this model, but maybe not aware of.
Norming, performing.
Very good. Something like that. Yes. So the name of that model is Tuckman's model. So if someone asks you what is Tuckman model, you can talk about that. So think about these type of models. The leadership issues in team change. Leadership issues. Yeah, what are some of the issues which can happen? So what I have been talking about, from that you can take out the issues for leadership. Like, now, what are the issues for the leadership in Singapore? Yeah, in Singapore, what are the issues a leader face in Singapore? It is not that they don't face any issues. They do face issues. It is not that in the society of Singapore there is no corruption. Of course there is corruption. It is not that they don't take bribe. They take bribe. All those type of things. These type of things are spread across the globe. But if you are looking country specific, yeah. So Singapore, we spoke about that. What are the issues a leader would have in in that country? What are the issues our leaders have, in our country? Uh, would have to think about those things from the discussion. Uh,
Crime rate is one of the lowest in the world. And so that's one less thing for the government to think about. They have to consider how to maintain that so it doesn't change. Also, it's how to progress a country that's already progressed so far, how to continue moving upwards. That's
very
things that I think the government in Singapore would think about, while Jamaican government is how to manage crime, because it's a huge problem here, how to have the country moving in a upwards motion instead of being stagnant or actually deteriorating, how
very
to provide more jobs for the economy, how to make sure although our literacy rate, from your previous class I had to find out this, that Jamaican literacy rate is quite high, how to improve that, because while it is quite high, there are many persons in Jamaica who are illiterate.
yes. Yes, very good, excellent point. Thanks for this. And link it with other things like the government. There are many good things which government has done. So, for example, this department, PICA department, where you go for immigration and those type of issues. So I went to reissue. I get a new passport, and everything was online. So I submitted my pictures online. There was no need of JP signature, nothing like that. I submitted everything online, and they asked, I like paid, and then they asked that, do you want to come and collect it? So I said, no, I want to come and collect it. So I went there and collected it. So that thing took a little bit time because I decided to go and collect it myself. But if I had chosen DHL or FedEx, it's like 10 minutes thing. In 10 minutes I uploaded all the documents and paid the fees, and you just get your passport in. I got it like in 2 days. I paid the like extra fee, and 2.5 day, 3 day, call it 3 day. It's very fast, and if I'm sure if I were willing to pay more, they could give me next day or something like that. So this is quite a transformation for us way back. So when I got initial passport, at that time I had to find JP and find different type of documents and birth certificate and all these different type of things, and then I had to attest them and all those type of things. But now it was like it was very easy. So this is quite interesting, and I was reading online, and I was also talking with some people who work there, and they were telling me that they are looking for more transformation, more type of things very soon they will be bringing in. So yes, if you compare it with other developed countries, then then we are far behind, and there is nothing to be getting excited about. But we, why should we should compare with other countries? We should compare with our country, like how we were in the past, and now we are taking some right steps. So but it will take a lot of time in other departments. You guys must have seen it, a lot of the computerization, digitization is happening. uh, Pace is slow, it is slow, but definitely some movement is there. uh, but it is for us, for common public, it is very easy to criticize these government agencies, no matter who the government is. Next time, I'm not trying to favor any party. PNP comes or JLP comes, uh, it will be hard for both of them to really change the course, if because it is hard work, and the intentions of both parties are right. In both parties, they have they have good politicians also. They have good people in every department, everything. But it is just like University of the West Indies. How is your experience of University of West Indies, if I ask you? Most of you are going to say it is not very good, but there are very nice people working in University of the West Indies, very passionate, very interested, all very educated, very nice, who are helpful and stuff. But overall, if the system is not going to support you, you can't do much. System, that is why somewhere before in the chapter they were talking about processes, procedures, and that is the key thing. And later on, I think it is chapter number 4, where they're going to talk about leadership. Leadership's role is to ensure that the processes, procedures are in line, intact, uh, so that even if the leader is not there, the processes and procedures are are going smoothly. But because we like photo opportunities and stuff like that, that's why the leader is all the time on on the on the head. So these things you would want to link it with our discussion, moving through dependency. So I did not use these words, but through what I said, I have covered these topics. Moving through conflict. So I did not say moving through conflict, but I have spoken what I want to say on this. Moving towards creativity. I have shared some examples with you for that also. So think about Yeah, and then they talk about this thing, how individuals affect team dynamics, individuals. And if you reflect, we have already spoken about that. Individual, Palmer was giving us example, individual personality, how it can affect impact. Another friend was telling us example that you need to set goals for different people. Another friend was giving us the KPI example. So you are setting some objectives, indicators for to perform for individual people. So you are doing all those type of things. So please think about that. Definitely, the individual affects team dynamics. Uh, and it can be both ways. If you have individuals who are hardworking and so on, they can set the tone of the team in the right direction. On the other hand, if you have, like, members who are like easy go lucky and they are not really into the thing, then it can backfire also. So you have to really be thoughtful about, especially in the, so because this course is change management, so link it with management of change. So please always remember that whatever we are saying, we are trying to reflect on it from the change dynamics. So when the team will be impacted by change in the organization, then how individuals will react? That is the question essentially. Yeah. So you have a team, how individuals affect the team dynamics in the situation where the team is going through change. So when change happen, it is hard and all those type of things which we spoke in the first session and today also. How those individuals are going to react? What are the things they are going to say? Are those things will be negative, positive, or it's not just about negative, positive. It is about finer things like giving hope, giving giving, just like, on one hand, I said some things like, the government is this and that, and Jamaica, how Jamaica will perform, because I just saw other person spitting on beautiful place. I don't know why he did that. And all those things I said. And the same note, I showed you a very nice picture of Jamaica where, majority of the managers are female managers. Yeah, I showed you that statistic in the world. Wow, it's quite a pride, in the world. Around out of 200 countries, Jamaica is number one in that, especially in the context where the world is talking about. You can look at United Nations, goals. uh, so equality of race and all those type, and these things which are going on in the United States and across the world also. Black life matter, and we are a black country. So in a black country, girls are given this chance that uh, they are like, they reach manager level. So there are quite a few amazing things about Jamaica also. But it is just that, you go in that vicious cycle. You take loans and you don't spend them in the right way, and then you take more loans to repay those loans, and after 2 3 cycles, now you are just into that cycle. It's very hard even for an individual. If you take a loan of, let's say, 5 million, you I'm talking to you. If you take a loan of 5 million now and just spend it, like just have fun, nothing productive, you just do it, and now you have to, repay the loan, and then you take loan again to repay it, and the interest rate and all those things. After 2 3 loans, what can you do? You can just run away. You won't be able to repay it. It will be very hard. It will be very hard. So same way for the country. If the Singapore, which year Singapore got independence? Can someone do some research on that? Singapore independence. I think it was somewhere close to Jamaica. It is not, because at the same time I think Britain was giving freedom to, different places which they had. they were giving freedom to all these countries, I think. So how did they start? They also took loans and stuff, but they were able to use them in the right way, and we were not able to use them in the right way, and now we are in that cycle. So how we can repay the anyone who is into finance and these type of things?
August 1965.
1965. So how far they are from Jamaica? Which year is Jamaica?
Jamaica gained independence in 1962.
Yeah, see, so we are older. We are older than Singapore. So why? So is it that Singapore people are more smart? Is it what is it? It's nothing to do with smartness or anything like that.
Well, from what I heard, people actually used some model that was Jamaican to develop their country, and they did it better than us.
Sorry, please repeat.
I don't have any confirmation. I've never actually researched this, but I had heard that Singapore used a model of Jamaica's economy to develop their own.
Oh yes, 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 something like that, something like that. Yes, yes, yes. I think that there is some truth to that, because I have seen some papers which were talking on that, but because I did not plan to talk about these things today, it's just conversation, so it happened. So I'm not prepared to really reflect on that. But my memory is telling me that what our friend is saying is there is truth to this. That Singapore did take some best practices from other countries, including Jamaica. Some things they took, and in the way back, if you can just run a Google search, in the independence time, 62, 63 till 70s, what was the exchange rate of Jamaica? Just run a Google search, exchange rate of Jamaica from independence. You are going to see a list. So what was the exchange rate against US dollar in 62, 63, 70s, 80s, 90s? You will see that there was a time when Jamaica was doing perfectly fine. But then it's the same vicious cycle. Once you take loan couple of times, then you go into that, and then it is just hard to come out of that. It is just hard. So I don't know what can be done. Especially when now the we too much reliance on tourism sector, and what happened to bauxite, what happened to banana industry, what happened to sugar industry, what happened to these industries, all other, so many good things Jamaica was doing, what happened to them? So now people are just lost in that glory days. Oh, once upon a time we were like that. That again is a very 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 wrong mindset, because now those days are gone. Now we need to start over again. But seems like it is just hard. We can't even the guy, actually, the I don't think like that, but that guy who spit on that beautiful beautiful road, he really pissed me off. So I don't know, I should have asked them that don't do it again. But maybe I was not in the position, because he would ask me, why, what is your problem? This road, your this public road, what is your problem? This is how he would have responded, I think, from the way he was looking and dressed and everything. So anyways, this is MBTI. This came in the first chapter also. Individual change, MBTI. Remember that? And um, our friend also said something about personality test today also. So think about that. So essentially, how individual affect team dynamics. Just try to pick up the things from this. As our friend just mentioned, that Singapore took best practices from many other countries, and one of them is Jamaica. uh, I was just reading about the airline industries in various countries. I think last week or the week before. So I read that these top airlines, and you can run the search yourself. I have the papers, but I want you to run the search. So because then you will search and you will explore things. I think that is a better practice. So I was reading that these top international airlines like Singapore is one of them, Emirates, these type of Qatar Airways, these type of airlines. In back in the days, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they were not really very good. So they took best practices from the airlines of other countries in Asia, in other countries, and and those airlines from which they took best practices, they are doing very poorly now. Yeah. So just like Jamaica, so Singapore took some best practices from countries like Jamaica, but now those countries from where those best practices were taken, they are not performing well. But the people who adopted them, they are, they really followed those things. So that is very interesting. So it is not just on the country basis. You can select organizations also, and I am giving you example of airline industry. So these top airlines, they took best practices from other airlines who belong to developing countries. They could not rise, but these top international airlines like Emirates and such, they were able to lift them. Yeah, think about that. Table 2.5, please make note of that. Go through that. It is the same. It is a similar one, just like the one in chapter number 1 last week we were talking about. So extroversion, introversion. I think we spoke about this last one. But this one, first chapter is individual change. This one is team change. So it is building on, what is what. Okay, Belbin's team types. Belbin's team types. Please make note of this. Belbin's team types. So he's going to give us some types of teams or something like that. So look at this. What people characteristics need to be present for a team to function effectively? Yeah. Please reflect on this question based on the discussion, or we had a while ago in the last 2 hours or something like that. Think about this. What people characteristic need to be present for a team to function effectively? There are some in the book. I gave you my 2 cents on this, how I think, like passion, interest, those are the characteristics. Yeah. So I told you mine. Now you can think, observe, uh, in the teams, and reflect on it and make your own list, that what people characteristics need to be there. So for example, they have these this is the one, table 2.6. So they have team roles. Belbin has given these different roles. Coordinator, a person who is going to coordinate. Plant, you know resource investigator. Shaper, monitor, evaluator. Team worker, implementer. Yeah. Specialist. Just like in a team, when you are doing a group work, you say who is going to make PowerPoint, who is good in presentation, who is good in research, who is what. This is what it is. Yeah. So resource investigator. What is resource investigator? The person who is going to do some research and so on. Or coordinator, shaper. Yeah. So it is a just like we are operating. This is a team. This is a group. We are trying to do something collectively. I am saying something comes in my mind. I ask you to run a Google search. You guys see in the chat. Many of you help me. Kensley help me. Kian is looking. Camille, Melissa, other friends. They just putting in the numbers. Yeah. O'Shane helped us. Rosemary helped us, and Denise, and all these people. So what is this group work? Yeah. So, and then if I'm asking you some example, you guys are giving. So different roles people are having in these teams. Yeah. That is the same type of. But look into these things. what is the contribution they will have, what weaknesses, because every role will have some positive, some negatives. So you would have to see that based on your objective, the roles of the team players, what are the things which are required. Yeah. So in one team, how many presenters you want? Maybe if you have one presenter, that is fine. So one person can come and do the presentation. Everyone does not have to come and speak. But what about research? Maybe you need more researchers who can sit on the computer, who are resourceful, who have connections, who are networked. They can find information and all those type of things. So depending on what the objective is, you would look into this. But I really encourage you to look this one. This is Belbin's team types. Yeah, different team types, and think about it, and ask yourself, what are you out of these. Of course, we become different in different situations, but what do you enjoy doing? Or do you enjoy doing coordinating? Do you enjoy implementing? Do you enjoy researching? These type of things. And you, in the personality test also, which one of our friends mentioned, personality test and common vision and goals. In the personality test also, you are somewhere trying to identify that what are the key skills, key areas where these team members would be good at, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, for example, look at this one. Team needs to contain a good spread of bulbon team types. Yeah, I just showed you the different types, and then it needs to be spread. Not everyone is researcher, then who is going to type and who is going to do the presentation. Yeah. And look at this one, this is very important. Different teams might need different combination of roles. Marketing and design teams probably need more plants, while project implementation teams need implementers and completer finishers. Likewise, the lack of a particular team type can be an issue. A management team without a coordinator or shaper would have problems because there is no one to coordinate. So an implementation team without a complete finisher might also struggle. So these type of things you would want to, you need to read the chapter and link it with the discussion. Table 2.6, I think you should pay attention to table 2.6. It gives you a nice summary of teams going through change. Yeah, so you can look into these things. Propensity to initiate change, to adapt to change, during change, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages of different types of structures, group, project, matrix, work, parallel. There are some things which you will have to read their definitions, try to understand what they are trying to do, and also pay attention to the summary section of all the chapters. Yeah, that is what you are going to do. I have posted some things on the website also, like for example, this is where it is, chapter 2, team change. So Tuckman's team model, please read this. Mind tools, it is interesting. This picture you can go through, and this clip is, I find it very interesting and fascinating and very easy to understand. So you can just play the clip and try to see how he explains those forming, norming, and stuff like that. This is the Belbin's team model. So I found this nice, easy to understand. I think this picture is, I find this picture more uh, I find this picture better than the one in the book. That is why I put it here. But you can, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just that they have divided it into three different areas, like action-oriented roles, people-oriented roles, and cerebral roles. Yeah. And then this is explanation of this model. You can check this out. This one I really like this clip, the power of words. Generally we watch these type of clips in class and discuss them, but because it's a online thing, so you would have to do these type of things in your own time, please. Yeah, okay. So what is your understanding of team? What are you taking away from all the things we mentioned today? So today we were talking about team change. What any thoughts, any suggestions, any commentary on team change? Anything you want to say on team change or anything on management of change? Any comments, anything? Please go ahead and participate. It's important. Well, you can say that I am not taking away anything from today's session. That is fine also, but please say something. Some, at least something, some pointer, something, some statistic, some example of some country.
Well, sir, do you, one of the things that we did learn from was according to the personality test, the teacher used it to place us in groups based on who would work well together. So that's another thing that some companies can take into consideration. You can check like a personality test to see which persons in this organization would work best together.
So what have you seen? Those type of tests really help in finding the right fit for the in the team in the group. What are the limitation of those type of tests or exams, whatever they do? Do they really work?
Signal went out. I didn't hear what you said. My signal went out. I didn't hear you.
Yes, I am trying to say that these type of tests which you are mentioning, they are of course very important tests, but I'm trying to understand, do they really work? What is the end result? Do you really find the right fit in the for the right team, right group? What are some of the limitations of these tests? I think
Well, actively work with those persons that I was placed in the team with after, and while there was some conflict, it was pretty productive. But conflict is not necessarily a bad thing. But what happened was she tried to place us in groups based on our personality type, based on the Myers-Briggs personality test, and
yes.
who were like they tried to make sure that there was somebody who was an introvert as well as an extrovert, so it wasn't just a team of all persons that were outgoing, someone who was sensing as well as feeling. It
Yes.
was she tried to make sure that every team had a mix of it was like 5 persons to each team, so she tried to make sure that each team had a mix of all the different type of personalities instead of it just grouping based on friendships or just randomly being placed in groups. And it turned out pretty productive, but I
Okay, very
can't say
good.
for certainty with a certainty that it was because of the personality types. It's just that it worked
Okay.
out.
Yes, and then we have a small cohort in weekend school, and people know people easily, and almost all of them are friends with other people. So it is different, but yes, that is interesting approach. But think about it: when we are making friends, how do we make friends? Do we do their tests or something? We just unconsciously we just decide that we just attract people, and we just don't attract some people. So think about those type of things. Thank you very much, Rose, for the contribution. So these were some of the things which I wanted to say uh, about uh, uh, about about team change. So first week we spoke about individual change. This this week we spoke about team change, and that is, I think, what I wanted to say about